Hello, divorcing gracefully and beyond sisters. Well, today is a very special day because we are at Valentine's Day, my friends. So, typically, if you are going through a divorce, if you're post divorce, this day could be quite an interesting one, right? Because it could bring up feelings of disconnection. It could bring up feelings of where you've come from, right? That very clear distinction of what you no longer have because that was an identity that you were attached to for so many years. And what I wanted to bring the discussion around today is this concept of the art of loving you, right? The art of loving ourself. Because I would like to put on the table that we, as DG, Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond Sisters, that we take this day and we transmute it into instead of working against us, we work it for us. Because this is our opportunity to transmute the past, right? The pain and the struggle and the suffering. And even if you're in it right now, even if you're in the thick of things, this is your opportunity to take this pain and take this struggle and have it work more for you than against you. Because this is what I believe. And you may not believe the same thing that I do, and that's okay, right? I'm not asking you to take on my belief system by any means, but I believe that your divorce didn't happen to you, that it happened for you. This wasn't a fluke thing, and I'm not saying it was your fault, right? But what I am saying is that our lives up until this point, we truly have had impact in that. Meaning, there are people, places, and things that we have attracted into our life. There are decisions that we've made. Now, again, I'm not saying your divorce or separation was your fault, but this is where we get to say is up until this point, there may have been blame, shame, or condemnation, or anger or frustration that are those feelings that are being projected towards someone else. And now, rightfully so, right? Let's think about this. Rightfully so. Your ex-husband may have acted in ways that, you just can't seem to get over. You may be angry at family members. You may be angry at the situation. You may be angry at him. And granted, I give that to you. I understand that. But I guess the question becomes, what is the most powerful way for me to be living my day? Because we could look at it in two ways. One is we could stay angry at the person, right? We could stay angry at where we've come from. We could stay angry at the situation. We could stay angry because we don't want to be left alone and we feel lonely and we don't want to be that cat lady living in the condo all by ourselves. We don't want to be feeling excommunicated from the family. We don't want to be feeling like, why can't I seem to get over this? I'm divorced 5 years or 10 years and I just can't seem to get this part of my life out of my mind. And I want to let you know that I've been doing this work a very long time. And what I found consistently is that you could be the smartest woman in the world. You could have all the resources in the world and you could have your work set and ready to go. And that part of your life, like a good job, a good life, good family, you could have all of that set. But it's this personal side, right? It's the side with learning to love ourselves and learning how to recreate this new version of ourselves that we're stepping into perhaps for the very first time in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s is this is a different tool. So it's not that you're doing anything wrong, and the question comes from why, right? Because that question, why does this happening to me, or why can I not get rid of these thoughts, or why do I not feel I need to be where I want to be? If we change that question, right, and take out the why and put in the what is it that I do want? Right? Because this is where we get stuck. And this is where what I would say the definition of insanity comes through is because we want a different thing, but yet we keep doing the same things, but we want a different result. And that's because we're not asking the right questions, or what I would say the most empowered questions. But if we move from the whys to the what is it that I want? What is it that I want to feel? Because a lot of times women will come to me and they say, Donna, I don't even know necessarily what I want because I can't even see past where I am right now. And you could be divorced 5 years, 10 years. Again, there's no rule to this game here on it. It really is just the way you're feeling. So what I like to say is feelings aren't facts. We got to remember, we got to place that into, put our feelings in order. Just like a child, if you're going to a supermarket and you have a child that's out of control, right? Let's say you're bringing your son or your daughter shopping and that child is just acting up. You're going to tell that child, no, you need to sit, you need to sit. You need to sit here and we're going to do the shopping, and when we're done, then you get to play. It's the same thing with our brain. Your brain wants to stay in the past patterned, conditioned behaviors and thoughts that it's been operating in for your whole entire life, right? Now, it doesn't mean that those are right or wrong, good or bad, but a lot of those past patterns, beliefs, behaviors, and thoughts no longer serve us because they keep us in the victim mode, right? They keep us victim to the circumstance. You are too smart, too beautiful, too brilliant inside of you to be the victim to circumstance. We are the master of cause. That's what we like to say at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, is even though our brain and our patterns and our behaviors want to stay stuck, we give ourselves the grace to feel the grief, to experience the grief, but that does not define our state of being. Our state of being is defined by what we decide it to be. And this is where the command comes in, because we're commanding our brain that, hey, listen, brain, I know you want to go down this path of destruction. And I know you want to think about everything we don't have. And I know you want to think about all that we've lost. And even looking at your ex-husband and his family, maybe he's remarried and now your children are going there, and it's, you're looking in what used to be your life, you're now looking a window into his life, and the one piece that's missing is you, right? So the part that we get to do is we move out of the whys and we get to say the whats, because now we're going to command our brain to where we want it to go. Because here's a key piece and a key tool, is that what you think about, you bring about. Now, you may have heard this term before, but I want to bring in a little bit of scientific kind of conversation here, because what when you have a thought, right, and you're thinking it, your body must follow, right? So let's say you wake up in the morning and you think about, okay, what do I have to do today? What do I need to do? Before you know it, your phone's in your hand. You're looking at who is on your calendar. You're looking at your Instagram feed, Snapchat, right? Facebook, all of the feeds, who connected. And now right away, you're back to the conditioned person. You're back to the person who you are identifying with as an identity, right? This is your ego. This is who you think you are. And so now you're back into the world. You're back to the people who you know. You're back to seeing what's going on. And next thing you know, you're thinking of a cup of coffee. And before you know it, you're at the coffee maker making coffee, right? And so this is the identity that we have created as women. Again, not right or wrong, bad or good. It just is. But this is not who you really are. Who you really are is probably yet unknown inside of you, in the sense of, that is the part that's connected to source. That's the part that's connected to spirit. That's the part that is inner guided, right? And when we are so connected to our heart center, we have a heartful mind and a mindful heart. When our mind and our heart are connected, this is where true guidance comes in. This is where the true self of who we are as women come out. I don't know where in society we were told as women that we've got to take on the burdens of our family. We've got to take on the burdens of of the community. I used to have these conversations around, wasn't it interesting that when the kids were going in school, a big portion of the volunteers were women. Now, again, not right or wrong, bad or good, but it was interesting because I asked my male counterparts at the time, like, what was, well, why are you not volunteering? And their response to this was, no, they had an important, their part was going out and earning money. Now, mind you, a lot of these women, including myself, who were volunteering, had full-time jobs, had responsibilities, had teams, and yet we were volunteering. We were really spreading ourselves thin because we were trying to be everyone, do everything, be everywhere. And what ends up happening is we then abandon ourselves to help others. We abandon ourselves to manage our families. And I think part of where we are as women, and this is a really wonderful trait or gift that we have, is that we have that instinct, that We can know, and we are in tune with our family. We are in tune with the community. But here's where it could go wrong, is when we abandon ourselves, when we do the things for other people in spite of ourselves. So for today's Valentine's message, one of the most important pieces of the puzzle that you as a woman, if to internalize, is the ability to love oneself fully. And you may not know how to do that. You may not have the confidence to do it. You may not feel worthy. You may feel that you've got a lot of things against you, and there may be a lot of conflicting thoughts in your mind. And I want to let you know that if you're in that space, there's no right or wrong, bad or good. But here's what we get to do, is we get to decide is that I'm on my way to not abandoning myself anymore. It's a sacred contract that you have with God and Source. You have a sacred contract to love and be loved. When you were born, it was not a mistake, right? God does not make mistakes, and he certainly didn't start with you. You have a sacred contract to be on this earth and to be learning your soul path and your soul journey, and to be the best person you could possibly be for you and for your journey. And then when you're in line with your journey, it's like the key that fits the lock, that the people who you were meant to impact will then be in line with their journey. Their key fits the lock and unlocks the next code, and then their people will be in line with their journey, and so on and so on and so on. So this is the opportunity that we get to learn how to do this. And that these are the things that your mother may never have taught you, is how do I show up in this world truly in line with myself, truly in line with my heart, truly in full alignment, and still be a wonderful woman, and be the great mom and a great friend and a great employee and a great leader, because you can do both, right? It doesn't mean that you have to throw yourself to the side to make other people happy, to people please. And I want you to self identify here if that's you, if you're someone who will put yourself aside to make other people happy, right? The people pleaser. I would like you to self identify if it's more comfortable for you to give than receive. Now, again, these aren't criticisms, right or wrong, bad or good. They're just observations that you get to say, wow, isn't this interesting? Hey, Christy, that's you, right? I get it. Yeah, I get it. And now this is your opportunity to say, isn't this interesting that I am so kind and loving and giving towards others? What can I do to bring this love back to me? There's no better time to think about this than Valentine's Day, right? Because we're getting to redefine what Valentine's Day means. It doesn't mean it's because we have another person in our life. It means because we're becoming the person in our life. We are going to be aligned. We are going to reconnect with Source. We're going to reconnect. We are going to open up that heart. So it is loving. And for the most part, is we're learning how to love ourselves, because when we're there, it's like the pilot light is lit. We have this fire in us. And now this fire could be shared. We can't share ourselves if we're barely limping by in our own life. And if you're not living an exceptional life, this is what I like to say at DGs. We don't live just a good life. We live an exceptional life. If you are not living your exceptional life, it's time to get moving, my friend. If you're not there, today's the day to make that change. Today's the day to make that decision and that commitment to yourself, that you're going to do whatever it takes to align your head and your heart, no matter what. Even though this divorce, may have taken you off the beaten path for a little while, today's the day where you're going to command your brain that you're no longer interested in where you came from. You're more interested in where you're going to. What I like to say is that we romance our future, right? We're so used to thinking, again, about other people, making sure everybody else's life is in line. There's no one better out there. A woman is an incredible mind, where every decision we make is, how is this decision going to affect my family, my children, my friends? How is this decision going to affect my employees? And that's a wonderful gift to have. But we got to remember, we also got to make and ask ourselves, how is this decision going to affect me? What is there for me? We want to be making decisions that are bringing our lives in full fulfillment and full alignment, and now no longer abandoning ourselves to people please or manage other people's lives or to make other people happy. We could still do that. We could still participate in life, but we've got to bring the love back to us. Because if you want to, at some point, open up your heart down the road to bring in your soulmate, to bring in that partner, because you don't want to be the cat lady living alone in the condo, you want to live life fully, you've got to become your own best partner first. You've got to fall so madly in love with yourself and your life that, yes, we want a man in our life or we want a partner in our life, but it's not a need, because our needs are being met because we are meeting our needs first. We are the matriarch of the family. Like for myself, I see myself leading my family, and I am a strong and formidable force that what was sent to break me does not break me. I'm not concerned on how many wobbles you have, my friend. I'm concerned on how many times you're ready to get up and get moving. Because what was brought to your path was never meant to break you. It was meant to elevate you. And you have two choices. You could buy the ticket to the victim, or you could buy the ticket to the abundance and the strength and the transformation and the transmutation of taking what was sent to you and transmuting it into your stepping stone, not your stumbling block. So for today, for Valentine's Day, what I encourage you to do is fall madly in love with yourself. Don't look at your past and where you've come from and what you've lost. Begin to romance your future and where you're moving to. And even if you can't visualize it, feel it. Say, Donna, I want to feel in my heart so connected to my life. I want to feel in my heart that I'm waking up with peace. I want to feel in my heart that I'm no longer sidetracked when I hear my ex-husband is doing X, Y, and Z. I want to feel in so much peace when my children are on vacation with my ex-husband and I'm living my life. And before, when I thought this was the most horrible thing, that I get to say, great, this is an opportunity for me to do something so beautiful for myself. I want to see myself taking myself traveling, enjoying the world, and living life, not just existing. So for today, for Valentine's Day, I hand you this challenge, my friend. I give it to you because your heart is ready to be lived and loved. Your life is ready to be shared and revered and lived on such a beautiful level that people are going to look at you and say, I want to have what she's having. Right? That's the life that we want to be living. We don't want to be the woman who people are like, oh man, there she is, like going the other direction because all she's doing is complaining, or, there's yet another problem, or yet another date on Match, or yet another guy that catfished her, or whatever, right? We don't want to be the people that when we come down the road that the seas are parting and everyone's going in a different direction. We want to be the woman that actually begin to the people who aren't living and up to that abundance level, that they begin going their own direction, right? They begin falling away from us, and we're attracting these wonderful people on our bus. And that when people look at us, they're like, I don't know how she's done it. Look at that. Like, look at where she's come from. And there's really seriously no real explanation of how you did it, because you didn't do it. You tapped into source, you tapped into your divinity, you tapped into learning what you need to do in order to align your head and your heart. And you are a testament to what your divorce being the catalyst for your amazing life, that it didn't take you down, that it actually elevated you up. There's no better way for you to truly be clear of the past and to step up in who you truly are than success, than to show your family members and to show your ex-husband and to show your children that no matter what comes your way, you've got it. You can handle hard things, and you are going to create the best life. So with that said, I hope you have an amazing, amazing, amazing Valentine's Day. And I will see you guys on the other side. Bye.